Hello, everyone. I am Healthy Randomness, and I would like to thank today's sponsor, the chicken salad I had last night. Because of it, I am now rethinking every life choice I made in the past 5 years. And I just want to talk about flying units, especially in RTS. I'm talking about ships, birds, bird ships. They kind of ruin, I don't know, map control, everything to do with controlling the map. Most barriers and hazards don't affect air units, which is, let's face it, kind of funny and sad. Um, and they they are usually pretty fast. So I came up with a unit concept who's built around countering air units, like the dragon. I made the dragon video, I believe, like 5 years ago. So I'm sure you get where today's sponsor come from. So, of course, as I said earlier in the intro, dragons can fly most of the time. Not all dragons can fly. Sometimes we're stuck with penguins and ostriches. But dragons generally have wings that can fly. And considering that they can bypass cliffs, spikes, walls, there's not much stopping them. And considering that you probably have a few workers you need to protect, or your entire base, a single air unit, when you only have a bunch of silly land characters, can cause insane amounts of devastation, sometimes irreparable damage. So, what do we do? How do we counter the dragon? Well, that's why I want to bring to you today's concept, the forecaster. More specifically, he just blows wind at the dragon. Now, this isn't exactly your normal wind. It's more of a wind barrier. The the Spritzen, I believe that's what I named that dragon, and certain other units will be able to get by the wind barrier. And but that's just really for balancing purposes. Is a few weaker air units or one or two of the super strong air units being able to get past. But for the most part, most air units cannot get past this spell. It is a spell. It's a hazard created by a spell. And the wind barrier, essentially what the wind barrier does is, creates a barrier out of wind that will prevent all air units with the previously mentioned exceptions. And of course, it could stack to create a very big wind barrier, protecting your base, especially, you know, if you're vulnerable to say drops from, you know, dropships or shuttles or units like that, or from massive air raids. Of course, you do have to make sure that you have a few replacements because it does run out after a little bit, and that can be quite dangerous. And after it does run out, like I said, the air unit can come back in. The dragons, the supersonic spaceship thingies can just come right in and destroy you anyway. So a few backups will be pretty important. So let's talk about stats. The forecaster, it's pretty, I don't know, simple, I guess. It does have a few attacks. They aren't the strongest, although it does have pretty good anti-air. But it can't do much against ground units. Like, I don't know, the goblin. Uh, I mean, the goblin's really weak, so perhaps the forecaster could 1v1 a goblin. However, most of its damage is a pretty tough lightning attack, which, of course, as bright and flashy as today's sponsor. And of course, it has its ability. It's the Wall of Wind. It has 80 health, which is decent. It's not indestructible, but it will be able to tank a few good hits. Zero defense, so it takes like virtually full damage from everything. And it just has normal speed, considering it has legs, which I never draw. uh, it riding on a tornado, that's just for this video. It wouldn't do that if this concept actually made it into a game, which it won't. Anyways, thank you for watching. This was a fun video to make. Perhaps subscribe, and I'll explain what the creepy void is in the background. That would be fun to do sometime, even though that will not be an RTS related video. And remember to hit that creepy, scary subscribe button. One that is so scary and such a problem that every YouTuber is bringing it up. So it clearly must be something worth hitting. Goodbye.